people of the world, how was it hanging over there on that side of the computer? For today's episode of Coffee Chat with Jax, I'm going to be sharing with you guys about something that has always been an issue in my life pretty much since day one, but I only recently figured out how serious it really is. Have any of you guys out there ever thought of yourselves or been called a people pleaser? Well, let me tell you, I am right there by your side. It can get a little confusing though, because how does it possibly sound like a bad thing to want everybody to be happy? Well, let me give you a little example on how well that life strategy worked out for young Jackie. So there I was, just 16 years old, trying to figure out life. Somehow I found myself stuck in the middle of three very different groups of friends. And like normally having different groups of friends isn't a bad thing as long as you just stay true to who you are in the process, which is something that I did not do. But these three groups of friends were polar, complete opposites, and not one of them liked each other. But knowing myself, I did not want to make anybody upset. So friend number one, we can call her Amanda. She was probably my most together friend. Like she was that girl that had straight A's, never got in trouble, and had a clear focus on her future and just pretty much doing all the good things right. Then there was friend number two. We will call her Kayla. Kayla just pretty much wanted to be a kid, just innocent adventures, class clown, that kind of thing. Then we have friend number three, who I would like to call Susie. Now, if you watched last week's video, you have heard of her. She is the party girl. We'll just leave it at that. Three very different friends, all of which I was trying to please because I thought I needed the acceptance of every single one of them in order for me to feel good enough about myself. I was going crazy. I had no idea who I was. In order to not go into too much detail, we'll just say that it just ended in a pretty lonely, empty, sad young Jackie. Are you guys picking up what I'm putting down here? Like, people pleasing is not okay. Right now, thinking back on that story, I just get annoyed. Like, what was I doing? Could I have been any more fake? It's hard to not be bothered by my 16-year-old self, but the truth is, I was just doing the best that I could. I was searching for acceptance, but in all the wrong places. Little Jackie, letting all of her friends define who she was borderline idolatry. That means that I was making these friends of mine my idols. I cared so much about what they thought of me that I made pleasing them my #1 priority. That means that I made pleasing them more important to me than pleasing God. For am I now seeking the approval of man or of God? For if I were still trying to please man, I would not be a servant of Christ. It was almost like I saw who I was, the authentic person that God created, and I thought that that wasn't good enough. I acted like God made a mistake and I could do a better job. The truth is, God is our creator and He made us exactly how He wanted. Nothing about our true selves was an accident. He planted us as seeds that needed to be guarded in order to grow and produce fruit and just live lives. That little voice in your head that is telling you that you're not good enough the way you are and that you need to be something different, that voice is not from God. That is the voice of the enemy. That literally goes back all the way to Adam and Eve. The enemy came in the form of a serpent and told them that they were not good enough, and in order to be better, they needed to eat from the tree of forbidden fruit, which God commanded them not to. That right there is where the fall of man began. So when we listen to that voice and try and be something that we are not, we are no better than Adam and Eve. We are basically telling God that He messed up and we can do it better. By neglecting the person that God created us to be, we become just empty, broken vessels. So you know what? If you're a leader, be a leader. If you're an encourager, be an encourager. If you like math, be a math person. My point is, just be who God made you to be, and if you don't know what that is, ask Him. If anyone out there knows you, it's your creator. You guys, I've said this before, and I will say it a million more times because it is the most important thing in the world to me. Just talk to God. Get to know Him. Spend time with Him, because that is how you're going to learn about yourself. The most beautiful thing about Christianity, the one thing that separates it from everything else, is that it allows us to have a relationship with our Father. So do not waste that opportunity. You are a chosen people. You are royal priests, a holy nation, God's very own possession. As a result, you can show others the goodness of God, for He called you out of the darkness into His wonderful light. Once you had no identity as a people, but now you are God's people. Once you received no mercy, but now you have God's mercy. Honestly, 16-year-old triple secret life Jackie was just looking for her identity. Actually, I always was, and I had no idea how to find one. For in Christ Jesus you are all sons and daughters of God through faith. For the old you has died, now your real life is hidden and protected in Christ Jesus. So today and every day forward, I can be confident in who I am in Jesus Christ. I am His daughter. By living our lives for God and learning to see ourselves how He sees us, that is we can see how deeply, truly, and fearlessly loved we really are. That right there is where we find our identity. Okay friends, thank you so much for chatting with me today on Coffee Chat with Jax. I hope you enjoyed what I had to say here. If you like and support what I'm doing and want to find out how to get more involved and become a part of my family, please click the link in the description box below to my Patreon page. There you can learn what I really want to do here with my Coffee Chats with Jax videos, and you can become a part of my family, because with the help of my current pledgers, we have just saved our first child out of poverty. His name is Lenny. Here's a picture of him right here. It is by the generosity of you guys that he now has a safe place to live and just gets the life that he deserves. But it doesn't have to stop there, you guys. If you get involved by clicking that link down below, then we can save more kids just like Lenny. Okay guys, thank you again for watching. I hope you have the best week ever, and I will see you next week. Bye!